Alcohol Beyond This Point podcast.
This isn't two podcasters talking business. This is two business guys trying to podcast. Willows has an effect on mechanical devices, and which is they fall apart in his presence.
I have the same effect on women.
I don't think that's good.
No, I didn't say it was good.
Oh.
Hi.
This is the Sad Boy podcast, where we talk about our faults and how much of a fuck up Willows is.
It's funny because like I'm like a textbook fuck up, and I'm still doing better in my life than you.
By literally only your measure.
Most measures of like what real human beings would measure success. I'm taller than you.
Oh no. You are paler than me.
Yeah, so whiter is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So that's an accomplishment.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I can't beat that.
Thanks.
Yeah, you don't have to go on.
Okay.
We can leave it there.
Yeah.
No need to make this personal.
This is episode 87 of Alcohol Beyond This Point, the podcast where we debate business topics, both sober and drunk, to see if we come to the same conclusion.
And Willows has written, I am become death on the board for today's episode, and I bet he has a great reason.
Oppenheimer said that when he dropped the first nuke in the ever.
Yes, and?
Oh, I have a nuke.
Yeah, and we just dropped it on Nord Stream 2, so
yeah,
if you're listening to this in the future,
if you're listening to
us.
this, yeah, that was us. That's pretty fucked up, hey?
It's a very small nuke.
Biden's basically like, I'm going to sabotage Nord Stream if Russia doesn't pull out of Ukraine. And then they didn't pull out of Ukraine, and then he sabotaged Nord Stream, and just no one gives a shit. Like, NATO called it sabotage. It's not even, like, they're not even going with the accident thing. They're just like, yeah, they blew it up. And, like, it's German property. Like, they're an ally, right? Like, this is an act of war? Question mark? I guess not. Who cares? Who cares? No one gives a shit. Who cares? No one needs any natural gas. Whatever.
Because the pipeline was still going, right? Because it was Nord Stream 1 that was
that got shut off or whatever.
Yeah, that was already shut off.
For repairs.
Yeah, but 2 was still going?
I guess so.
So
this is fun.
Yeah, so now there's no gas flows
to
at
Europe.
all. Yeah, to Germany at
and I'm
least.
still seeing articles how like Putin's an idiot and he's losing and man.
Russia's never been good at the whole fighting wars thing. They just throw a lot of bodies at it and don't lose. Like
winter kills everybody and then they're like,
Yeah.
haha.
Yeah, they're pretty ruthless, but they've always been like, they always punch way above their weight class. When you really look at what they've got, they're like a medium-sized, middle-income country. Doesn't have a huge population. They don't have a crazy amount of technology. They don't have a crazy industrial complex. It's like they just kind of are mythologized to be this like world superpower.
Thanks,
because they've got
Hollywood.
Yeah, cool. They've got nukes. Because
yeah, but so does France.
Right, but they've got nukes that were pointed at Westerners.
Yeah, but so were France's.
Fair. Yeah, so I don't know, because you got to remember, like, a lot of the Cold War was like, people are afraid of Russia because the government's like, we need to be afraid of Russia and spend all this money and build up our military and blah blah blah. But it's like, were they ever really a threat in that way? Probably not.
And if we don't pay our carbon taxes, then Russia's going to get even stronger.
Huh?
I don't know. I think that's what Biden says. We got to pay higher inflation taxes because we got to send more weapons to them.
Yeah, that is how that works, yeah.
I have to wear a mask and close my business because Putin's mad. Am I getting, like, stories crossed? I honestly don't know.
I think you've been cooking your brain cells in front of the television.
I'm close to giving up, I think.
I can tell you're very slow today.
Yeah, just giving up.
And doing what?
Whatever there is in the afterlife.
It is kind of sad and depressing all the time. And I bury it with work and podcasts. It's pretty good. So here we are, helping you bury your sorrows. You're welcome.
The listener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was working in a house with an elderly couple, or it was their house. I wasn't working with them.
They were mortaring.
They were hustling. No, I was working in their house, and they were watching the live news on Hurricane Ian, I guess. And I guess there's Fiona as well, but I think it's Ian that's like just currently clobbering Florida. And
Fiona hit Canada really bad.
Yeah, and I think this is incredible because everyone was all celebrating that we didn't get any like named storms in August, and then it's like now it's hitting. It's like, oh, maybe just timing's fucked now. But yeah, the storms look pretty bad. And the wife, she's like, oh man, the world's just going to hell in a handbasket. She's like, everything's just always getting so terrible. And it's like, I didn't say this because it's just, there's certain doomer things you just don't need to say. So I was going to be like, yeah, and you'll be dead before the worst of it hits. Because shit, this is just the warm-up, lady.
I guess like that makes me even more depressed that like if my lifespan is average, I'll probably die because of these.
There's a decent chance that
I
you
like
could be
die in a climate apocalypse.
You could be killed by a climate apocalypse or an unstable government or food system, or maybe our energy gets knocked out one winter and you fucking freeze to death in your sleep because your furnace kicked out and you didn't know.
Yeah.
Something nice like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that'd be a peaceful way to go, just freeze to death in your sleep. For reference, when we get our really cold winter nights here, if your furnace conked out, you could I don't know if you necessarily die within 8 hours. You'd probably wake up. You definitely wake up.
I think your body would wake yourself up.
Yeah,
for sure.
But then what?
Well, I guess like
start burning things.
Yeah. Well, if like power was just out in the world.
Well, for like a whole city or a province.
Natural gas, right?
That you're not going to be able to use natural gas appliances without power.
Can't you light your furnace if it's natural gas if there's no power?
Well, the control systems aren't going to work.
You'd have to just light it.
And it ignites itself with a spark, and like the circuit boards won't run.
Right. So it wouldn't be able to like regulate itself at all. Yeah. Then that'd be sketchy as fuck.
It's run by electronics. It's not analog at all.
Well, I guess everyone got rid of their wood stoves, right?
Not everyone. A lot of most people that live rural keep their wood stoves because it's a very real possibility.
Power goes out all the time.
Power goes out and stays out.
Yeah, I guess we just die if the entire power goes out in the winter.
No, you just come to my house. I'll be...
Or we get EMP'd.
Yeah. No, just come to my house. I'll be hooked up.
Yeah. I guess, like, how do I get there?
I don't know, walk.
Yeah. Perfect.
I'll send my dog sled.
Awesome.
With, like, 15 Maine Coons instead of dogs.
God,
can you imagine? They'd be so fast.
True.
They run, like... What is it, like 25 miles an hour?
I think you couldn't train... Oh, you couldn't train them, though. You'd just be, like, fucking running after squirrels, and you'd be like, ah!
Yeah, probably. No,
I'm trying not to think about this shit. This is just, like...
So, what kind of demons are you facing right now? Let's turn this into a therapy session for Willows, because I don't know where else to go with this right now.
I guess I'm just really burnt out, I think. There's a particularly...
You're at that time of the year.
Yeah, it was a particularly long market season that we're coming to an end here in about 3 weeks. My harvest is done and the wine is made. So that's like, that was that's like my stress point.
That's the climax.
That's usually the tipping point when it starts. My days start getting easier. So like that's been done. It's the end of September here. I can finally catch up editing this podcast. If you're listening in order, you probably noticed we haven't had a episode come out in 8 weeks, and that's because I've just been too fucking busy. But usually I feel a lot of relief at the end of the market season, but I am not really right now. And I feel like it's a combination of like I didn't make enough money this summer because, blame a thing, recession, whatever. Liquor sales are down, whatever, like
inflation, baby.
Inflation,
People aren't buying craft local wine.
Yeah, it is what it is. And I would blame myself, but it seems like I keep an eye on every single other sales, liquor sales in the province, and everything's down. Even big box stuff is down.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like it's my fault necessarily.
When you wrote your business plan, when you wrote out risk factors and stuff, we joked around about this all the time, but it's like people drink when they're happy, they drink when they're sad.
Yeah.
They drink to celebrate, they drink to whatever, like they drink to drink. But it apparently the biggest risk factor to alcohol sales, at least middle to expensive alcohol, is just a high inflationary environment. Turns out that's a risk factor for every consumable product out there.
When who fucking could have predicted 3 years of pandemic and then a fallout from that, right? Like who, there was no business plan I was writing that was covering, what if the global economy shuts down?
Yeah, and even if you could write into your business plan, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Except for maybe store cash away and don't grow.
Yeah, which makes me more anxious though.
Yeah.
That there was nothing I could do. I don't like it when it's out of my hands. Yeah, so I guess I just feel like there was I put in a lot of, I had to work more hours in the last 6 months for less pay. Significant, and I'm not talking staying after work a couple days a week for 50% less pay. I'm talking we made $100,000 less than I wanted to.
Yeah.
In the last 6 months. But I'm working, I was working 30 hours more a week to 100 or more hours a week to make $100,000 less.
Yeah.
Right. It's not, it doesn't feel great.
Yeah. That's
right?
not nice.
And it's just when I was planning, it's I'm going into year 6 of the business. Not quite, we're still 5 months off or whatever. End of January. But on, most of my planning, if you could say that, we're by year 6, I'll be able to pay myself a living wage and, maybe buy a house and not have to stress and but I'm back in at day 1, essentially. Maybe not day 1.
I was going to say, you're a long ways from that.
Yeah, okay. But I
remember what your place looked like in day 1.
Yeah, well, we'll see if I can keep this up. But yeah, we basically lost 2-3 years of progress, right?
Yeah.
On a 5-year-old business. I mean, that's,
crippling.
Yeah, because I probably won't be able to pay myself much through the winter.
Yeah.
And I still only pay myself $2,000 a month.
Yeah, and it gets harder.
And it's probably going to go down. I'll probably make $16,000 this year.
Yeah.
So, do your books at home, fellas. Can you live on that?
That's about 50% of the poverty line. No, poverty line's 22 here, right?
22.5.
Yeah.
It's going up because inflation's going up.
Yeah.
Or sorry, minimum wage is going up to $15 an hour, which is $24,000 a year, I think.
15 is closer to 30K a year.
Yeah. Okay. So poverty is going up to higher than that,
right.
Higher than it is now, right?
Right. Maybe poverty's 35.
No, it is 20, but remember this minimum wage jump that we're getting is that's a fucking 40% jump.
Where was it at?
$11.75.
Oh.
And it's going to 15.
So 20-30%.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah. So
All the Americans on this podcast are like typing in how to get Canadian citizenship.
yeah.
Because they're like
Don't come here.
fighting for 15.
Don't come here. We don't want you.
No.
Even the nice
Just
Americans.
kidding, I'm hiring.
No, don't hire Americans. Hire anyone else, please.
Literally just hired. Oh, no, I guess he's a Ukrainian.
I hate Americans.
He has New York plates, though.
So do I. In one of my cars. So this leads me into something I wanted to talk about, which was I'm trying to do like 30 days not buying any food.
And
I kept saying that to people, like my friends, and they'd be like, "Oh, you mean like no takeout?" I'm like, no, no food at all. No groceries, no takeout, no restaurants. Spend $0 on food for a month.
And?
Well, I'm going to do it in like October, in like 2 days.
Okay.
But I kind of already started.
And what is the point of this?
Save money.
To do what?
I don't know. I want to buy a house still. That's still on the list. Got to save for that down payment.
I feel like this is a bad plan.
Okay, so bear with me here, right? Let's back up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also fat, right?
So you're going to fast and burn fat?
Well, maybe that's like a secondary, right?
So what's the primary?
Save money.
Mm-hmm. By dying?
Well, no, it's not that I'm not going to eat. I'm just not going to spend money on food. I did it for like a year.
Yeah, see, I don't know how to eat without buying food.
Yeah, so in 2014, when we started writing the business plan, but it was before we opened. Between when we started the business and when I became homeless.
Okay.
There was like a year in like 2014 or 15. I went like a year without buying any food because I didn't have any money, because I didn't have any income.
Right.
So what I used to do is go to like Futurepreneur and other entrepreneur networking events, and I'd just fucking eat all their sandwiches. Because they'd always have sandwiches.
Yeah.
Right? Finger sandwiches, Subway sandwiches, maybe some Tim Hortons sandwiches, but it was always sandwiches. And I would just eat like 40, right? And then I decided I found out very quick that if I wanted to like make this business work on $25 investment, I had to lose all my shame. So I started asking the organizers of the events if I could just take the food home at the end. And like probably more than 9 out of 10, like 99 out of 100 times, they were like, yeah, sure. Like
somebody's got to take it.
Most of the organizations, like multiple times, these people, I probably did this 50 times.
Yeah. And
most of the organizations were like, yeah, we either throw them out or throw them in the break room, and then we throw out half of them in a week. Yeah. Like that's
absolutely what happened.
That was a consistent through line. So, because I would start by being like, oh, like that's a lot of sandwiches left over. Like, what do you guys do with these? Before I had shame to just walk up to a stranger and be like, can I take these sandwiches? Yeah. Now I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Back then I didn't or like.
Now that's just classic Willows.
Yeah, now it's funny, right? But like back then I was like,
And also just as an aside, if you're in like an entrepreneurial group or networking event and you do that, people are going to be like, that's a hustler right there. Like, people are going to shame you.
Oh, yeah, no. I used to, like, when I was younger, like, before I started doing shit like that, it would be like, I'd be like at an event and be like, oh, I don't want to go get a second sandwich because I'm embarrassed, right? Mm-hmm. And then now it's like, I go to, I was sampling a thing last week, some charity thing, and they start bringing out appetizers, and I start, like, waving at the people walking around with the fancy appetizers. And I'm like, come here. And he's like, oh, do you want one? I'm like, yeah, keep them coming. And so he just kept coming around with the plate to like, I still do this shit. Fuck it. But, yeah, so I used to take these sandwiches home or whatever. And, I don't think anyone there was a couple times where okay, I wasn't really in the like okay, I guess I was homeless shortly after this, but I you know what's funny is I look back at this time and I'm like, I was never that close to being dead.
Yeah.
But like empirically I was. But I guess like I just know my own resilience. I would have never let myself
Yeah.
like die. And I never went to a food what do you call it, food bank? I definitely could have. I had friends back then that used to like
Yeah,
once a week they'd
like
go.
like a soup kitchen. Yeah,
Yeah.
One of my roommates when we first moved when I
yeah.
first moved to the city, he would go all the time for lunch. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it was chill.
Yeah, and because it's like no judgment, right? Usually.
Yeah, and he's like, he was in college
Yeah.
and was like well buttoned up, going to like a nice college, paying whatever expensive tuition, and he would go to the fucking soup kitchen because he couldn't afford to feed himself.
When I had friends that do the cheer basket or whatever,
Oh yeah.
where they give you a fuck ton of they give you like a turkey dinner
Yeah.
and give you like a fuck ton of canned vegetables and shit, and
Yeah,
like whatever.
Winnipeg Harvest is like
Yeah.
a great resource.
They hand
for
out
that.
like 50,000 fucking dinners a year.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, I know. So but I never did that. Not that I wasn't above it by any means. I just never got around. I didn't like the paperwork. There was no parking in front of the soup kitchen, so I never
Well,
went.
no shit, there's no parking
Yeah,
in front of
weird.
the soup kitchen. What a funny thing to say.
What a weird.
I'm gonna say that is a funny thing to say, but it's gonna be fucking relevant very soon.
That's a peak Willows quote, I think. There was no parking in
Dude,
front of the
that's
soup
not
kitchen.
not even a peak Willows quote. That's like a commentary on our society.
Yeah. I had a
It's like-
car, but I couldn't afford to eat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the working poor is
Yeah.
is fucking real. Like I own a business and hundreds of thousands of dollars in assets, but I can't fucking feed myself. Like if that ain't American right there, I don't know what is.
Yeah. And it was funny because like I remember my roommates were like, "What the fuck?" Because they would come home, and I had like taken the drawers out of the fridge to make room for my giant stacks of finger sandwiches.
Yeah.
Like, and like, what are you doing? Like, where are these coming from? So I think I'm gonna do that for like a month again, mostly for fun. I was considering live tweeting it, like going day by day
Yeah.
and just being like how I ate that day, because I figure I can get away with like 2 days a week at my parents
Probably.
max.
Yeah.
Any more than that, they always say, "Oh, anytime," but I think I know them.
Yeah,
Any
there's a
more
limit.
than that,
There's a limit.
any more than that. Tinder dates for sure can make them pay. Oh fuck, I forgot my wallet.
Right.
Boom, block them. Boom, free dinner. I can eat the stuff that my roommate's gonna throw out because it's expired.
Sure.
No, and yesterday I was at a farmer's market talking to the hot dog girl. End of the market comes around. She has like 5 hot dogs on the grill. She said, "Do you want a hot dog?" I'm like, "Can I take all the hot dogs?" She's like, "Yeah, sure." Gave me like 7 hot dogs and like 7 and a bag of buns that she was just gonna throw out. So I've just been. I had a toasted hot dog bun with cream cheese this morning for breakfast.
Ooh, that actually slaps.
Yeah, word. So, yeah. So I'm pretty. I have no shame.
I was gonna say you got me. You've sold me on this. I think you should do it.
Word. I think I'm just not gonna live tweet it though,
Yeah.
because
Just post updates in like our group chats and shit.
yeah, I don't know where that's gonna go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey man, it might honestly
Just
live
something to do.
live tweeting it might be interesting.
Yeah, but then I can't
because-
break it.
What do you mean?
Well, okay, I feel like maybe there's like I get drunk on the 18th of October or something, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm buying food. But if I'm making the commitment, this is just kind of like
Well,
I'm gonna
it'll-
try and do it.
It'll be no. You gotta commit,
I don't know if
and-
I want to commit though.
but it would be an accountability thing. Like
Well,
you said.
that's why I'm saying I don't want to do it, because I don't want to be accountable to my dumb idea. This is a dumb idea.
But I think it would be very. I don't think people would think it's dumb because I feel like there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way. I think like the percentage of people and like especially parents that are skipping meals so that they can feed their kids
Sad.
is high. Like,
Yeah. Well,
probably...
they said 1 in 4 Canadians skipped a meal in the last year.
Yeah, probably fucking record highs. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, you should do it. If that's true, 1 in 4 Canadians, like, there's a decent percentage of Twitter that is either is doing that or thinking about doing that is probably the other, and probably another 25%. And then the remaining 50% that can't relate are like, oh, fuck, this is serious. Like, I don't know, maybe you could do something with this. Like, I know you haven't been politically active or whatever, but, like, it'd be kind of interesting to see where
It's
it
like
goes.
a statement almost.
Yeah, it's just a statement with no end game.
You know what I might do then? Make it like November. Give me some prep time. October's in like 2 days.
Yeah, just be like no food November.
Oh, then now we're talking.
Because everyone's doing like no shave November.
No, yeah, no food November, but it's like, yeah.
And just post a tweet, be like no food November.
And then I go over my rules.
Yeah.
Because my rules are, I'm allowed to buy alcohol still.
Of course.
And then that's
everyone has to be able to pay for the vice.
Well, and then that's like ruins the entire
It
experiment,
it doesn't though. Everyone has a thing that they have to buy.
Yeah, and I think like I was thinking about this a lot today actually. And I'm thinking like I can't buy any groceries, but I can and I won't stock up my supply.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to like not eat the shit that I have, obviously.
Right.
But I won't like, cuz that'd be cheating if you just...
Well, the gimmick is like you can't afford to buy food this month.
Yeah, but
it's not indefinitely in the past and into the future.
Because it'd be cheating if I just stocked up my cabinet.
Yeah.
The day before, and then I have 30 days of food supply. That's fucking shit. That's not defeats the purpose, right?
Yeah. And you can buy food with found money.
Okay. All right.
You finally like find a toonie on the ground, buy some ramen, like shit like that.
That's what I used to do too. Back in the day, was like I bought the no-name soup in a cups.
Yeah.
For fucking, they were 11 cents a piece when you bought the 30 pack.
Yeah.
And I know there's no nutritional value, but it's like, that's literally a month's worth of food, right?
Yeah, and I've
for $4, like.
And I keep talking about it, but I found like this incredible ramen brand called Chef Woo's, like WOO, and yeah, it's a ramen cup. I think they're $2, like they're $1.99, which is, I mean, the regular fancy ramen I would buy was 99 cents. So I'm like, okay, whatever, double the price. But it's got 20 grams of protein, and it's fully, yeah, and it's fully vegetarian, or yeah, I think it's vegan, vegetarian, with organic ramen and everything. Like, it's really good shit. And yeah, 20 grams of protein in it, which is about as much as a 6-ounce, 8-ounce steak. Or a burger.
Am I
And it's got a lot of carbs. It's got a lot of nutritional value to it. For $2, it's probably the most nutritionally dense meal you could have. That's like not like an MRE or something like that. And they taste fucking great. And it's $2. You could have one of these a day.
I'll do that next year.
And probably get all your nutritional value.
MRE May.
Food bucket February.
Hold on.
Honestly, I would fucking love to see someone actually try to survive off of like an Alex Jones food bucket.
Word.
That'd be rough. You'd probably get cancer.
And so, because I haven't eaten today, because I can't afford any food, here it's time for my daily calories. We're going to transfer over to the part of the show that we call Shot Caller. The part of the show, I said that twice. That's my new thing. I say part of the show twice. Where we take you, the audience, can pick a shot that we take. This shot is sponsored by Not Eating Club, the only social club where you don't eat and then all the members are dead. Thank you from No Eating Club for sponsoring this episode.
Posthumously. That's smoother than I remember. Shivers.
So maybe I'll do this in November. Maybe we'll make it a thing.
And take a note, audience. Like, Willows is like objectively my best friend.
Thanks,
and
buddy.
I'm not offering him any help.
Well, we'll see.
He's like, that's part of the plan.
Oh yeah, no, I'm allowed to eat at friends' houses, obviously.
Yeah.
Or we're like at your house drinking. I'm gonna fucking steal some chips.
Yeah, but I'm not sitting here being like, "Oh, buddy, I'll buy you groceries."
No.
That's-
I probably won't let anyone buy me groceries. Like if my parents want to give me leftovers, that's fine.
Yeah.
But
No, I know,
that's cheating.
I know you, and you're not gonna want to take charity anyways.
No, because that's not the point.
Exactly.
I'm trying to make a point.
And you're not back against the wall.
Yeah, I can buy bubblies. I can buy alcohol. I could probably do no buy alcohol. Just drink my alcohol.
Yeah.
That might make it better for the
You should probably do that.
for the marketing.
Yeah.
I
I mean, you got enough right there.
I have enough alcohol not only in this basement to kill us both, but like the amount of alcohol I could just like take from my winery.
It's absurd. Yeah, no, that's not like that was homeless Willows had to deal with that. This current day Willows does not have to worry about where his next drink is going to come from.
No. I have too much alcohol.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like I don't want to do it anymore. Cuz
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
it's
you've
too
gotten
much.
tired of it.
Yeah.
Time to rediscover
My own alcohol.
cider.
Yeah, maybe.
Something. Honestly, the cider slaps. So one of my workers, Ben, he likes liquor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so fucking loves Beer Fridays. Like him, Beer Fridays is just like getting a beer after work on Friday. But
Wow.
but for him, it's when I'm like, yo Ben, like let's beer Friday, let's go. Like, cause we don't do it nearly every Friday. Like it happens maybe once every 4 weeks. But when we actually are working together and have got time to do it and we do it, it's like you just told a kid we're going to build a bear. Like his fucking face lights up. He's so excited. He's like, "Are you serious, man? Are you fucking serious? Let's go. Let's fucking go." And he's like, hops in the truck. He's like, "Where are we going?" And so last time I went to Sucrum's and I'm like, "Okay, what do you have?" And like, whatever. He bought 1 round. I bought 1 round. And so I'm like, "Oh, what do you have?" And he's like, "Whatever's highest alcohol on the menu, dude." And I'm like, "Rough week." And he's like, "Just get me the just highest alcohol in the menu, dude." So I got him a fucking pint of something strong. I think it was like a double IPA. And yeah, I got kind of properly drunk because this is like 5 o'clock, pretty empty stomach already. And yeah, he got pretty drunk and, you know, we're just talking about life and random shit and gave me like a big hug at the end of it. And I'm like, "You really needed that, didn't you, dude?" Because he's got 2 kids at home. He's currently living at his in-laws because they sold their house when the market was really hot, and they've been trying to buy for like 6 or 7 months, and they've gotten outbid on everything. And their budget keeps dropping every time interest rates go up.
Yeah,
and
that
their,
was
and their bank offer expires. So like their budget is shrinking, and the prices keep going up. And it's like watching real time someone get squeezed. It's fucking heartbreaking.
I don't know this guy from a hole in the ground. Never met him before. But that is like the definition of people that are like jumping onto financial trends.
Yeah.
Like they're buying Bitcoin at the peak because they heard about it on the news. But it's like 10 months later than you should be buying it. It's like, "Hey babe, I have a great idea. Let's sell our house, pocket a bunch of money. When the market cools down, we'll buy another house." It's like, that's just a bad financial decision.
Well, that's not why they sold their house, though. They didn't sell it because the market was hot. Like, they sold it because they were fucking sick of living where they live, and they wanted to move out of town and get a bigger property.
They can't find rural land right now?
No, dude.
Wow.
He bid on something that was a 50-year-old farmhouse on 5 acres, just outside of a tiny town, an hour from the perimeter highway. So hour out of town, or sorry, no, 35 minutes, 38 minutes, something like that, from the perimeter highway. And yeah, 5 acres, had a little creek through the backyard, which was nice. Most of it was bushland, and yeah, about a 50-year-old farmhouse with like mediocre to poor quality interior and finishing and whatever, like just a basic ass house. I think it was like 3-bed, 2-bath, or 3-bed, 1-bath, and it was going for $325, which, I mean, if you live in parts of America, this is going to sound insane. You could pick this up for $100,000 in like Illinois, maybe 60,000. And
Ilo Nos?
yeah. And yeah, it was going for 325, and the big problem was it had a cinder block basement, and those tend to leak a lot because fucking Manitoba.
Cinder blocks have holes in them,
Yeah,
dum-dum.
freeze and thaw. They've got mortar. There's seepage, right? So it's one of the worst basements to have. So they figured the actual value of this house was probably closer to 305 or 300. So they bid 315, and it sold for like 340.
Word.
Like 15 grand over asking. Way the fuck out of town. 50-year-old run down shit farmhouse. And yeah, still bidding wars. Like the guy can't, like the balance between being reasonably close to the city and something affordable, like, and it's a single parent income because his wife homeschools and whatever, takes care of the kids. His kids are also really young. Like even if she wasn't homeschooling, it would still be, she'd still want to be home most of the time. But yeah, so it's like,
Why doesn't she sell Tupperware?
she does still make some money, but it's not enough that would increase your mortgage. She's actually a curator for the Winnipeg Art Gallery.
Oh yeah, so it doesn't pay anything. Fucking art.
Yeah.
Art's the worst.
Yeah, so she's a curator for art shows and stuff. That doesn't make great money in Winnipeg. So, yeah, I don't know. It's fucking tough. Like,
times are tough.
Times are tough. Like, the guy's doing nothing wrong. Like, you should be able to buy a house that can fit you, your wife, and 2 kids. And that should be something that's possible. Yeah, especially when you have, like, he has, generously more than the required down payment. He's just limited by literally the interest rates and his monthly income.
Yeah, like, the reason I can't buy a house is because my on-the-books income is nothing. $0.
Yeah, and to be clear, like, his on-the-books income is more than $50,000.
Yeah, so if my on-the-books income was $50,000, I would have bought a house last year.
Yeah, and he's got like 50,000 saved up.
Yeah.
And can't buy a house.
Yeah, because I had like 20 grand saved up.
Yeah.
And I started looking into it. And our friend who's a mortgage broker was helping me out. And he's like, yeah, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a business owner who makes like, I think last year I made 8 grand on the books.
Yeah, you're going to need like 20% down.
He said maybe even higher.
Yeah.
When Zappa bought his house with Brittany,
yeah,
they both had to put 20% down for a total of 40.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Because they're both self-employed.
Because they're both self-employed, yeah.
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 Yeah, this is why Carly's getting a government job, and we're putting the house in her name.
Yeah. Shoot me. It's like working for the Nazis to pay, but I have to pay my mortgage. Ugh. Anyone who works for the government, I lose my respect for them immediately.
I was going to say
it's not worth the money.
It is a little bit different being in healthcare.
No, it's not.
No.
Fuck healthcare. I don't know why people think they need doctors. Like, there's perfectly good people under the bridge that I've met
with elixirs
and
needles
that
are freshly cleaned.
I every time I drive past the bridge on my way to work, I see people getting their vaccinations under the bridge.
I will let the government know they're not needed.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, fucking life sucks, man. I think
life sucks. I know.
I think the fucking any left-leaning government is gonna get fucking clobbered in elections right now, because that's what happens. Like last time, I forget who sent this in our group chat, but like last time inflation was this high, like the electoral map of the U.S. was like 90% red.
That was me. Yeah. There was only 2 states. California was red. I think that was
California's pretty red still.
Last time inflation was this high, there was only 2 states in the union that were blue. Well, who would have been? That was Reagan, right?
What?
Reagan clean sweeped in the 80s when inflation was that high, right?
Yeah, Reagan's not.
Reagan's like one of the most popular right-wing.
Yeah, and he's
presidents.
A gigantic piece of shit.
He's the devil.
He's the fucking worst.
Ronald, 6, right?
Yeah.
Ronald, 6 letters. Wilson, 6. Reagan, 6.
Wow.
666.
Yeah, he's literally the fucking worst. Like,
Look-
one of the most war criminal
There's a song.
presidents.
There's a song by Killer Mike called Reagan. It's all about Ronald Reagan being the devil, and yeah. And at the end, he's like, I can't say anymore because there's like CIA standing at my door. Like,
I think my favorite part about the Reagan administration is how they're, I don't know what you would call her. Basically, Rasputin type figure in their life.
Rah, rah, Rasputin, lover. You know what's fun about that song is that I actually do love Russian queens.
True.
My history teacher in high school, actually it wasn't my teacher, but he taught history in the building. He used to say I looked like Rasputin.
Less handsome though.
Apparently, no, okay, Rasputin kind of looked weird.
Yeah, no, he
kind of looked like a horse.
he just had a huge dick.
Yeah,
Like
apparently he had like a
horse.
13-inch penis. Apparently, this is like
horse.
on multiple accounts. Like he literally had to like get special pants.
Yeah, Rasputin fucked,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
including the Russian queen.
Well, that's how he literally he fucked so well. He was able to make these monarchs be like, you know what, communism? Maybe we could do it. Maybe we could do it here.
But anyways, Reagan had their own Rasputin figure. Rasputin, the Canadian. the Canadian Rasputin.
I'm laughing to
Rasputin.
myself, imagining his face on a bowl of poutine, and I'm done. Like I'm losing it.
I think you're drinking on an empty stomach.
Yeah, because I haven't eaten because I don't pay for food anymore.
Yeah, because Reagan got shot, right?
I wish. Yeah, he did.
And
then finished his speech.
Yeah, it like broke Nancy. And
Nancy Pelosi?
Yeah. And Pelosi went to this like guru of some kind, and this guru was like actually had substantial sway in the Reagan presidency. Like he wouldn't get in the limo if this woman said that this is a bad day to get in the limo, like you might get killed or you might get whatever, something bad's gonna happen, whatever. Like they would delay Air Force One, like they would cancel speeches or move events, and down to even like the types of policies that he would sign. Like this fucking woman had this incredible influence over American policy in this period of time. It was like, is that okay? Like, is this tarot card reader from this Timbuktu town running your country? Like, I guess that's fine. You elected the guy and then re-elected the guy. It's whatever.
I liked when he was giving a speech and then a balloon popped and he said, "Missed me."
Yeah.
Well, he was an actor, right? So I guess he was like quick on his feet, because that's a fucking...
Yeah, he's a Trump figure.
That's a badass line.
That's fucking... Yeah.
Because it was like right quick too. You like thought for a second like...
Miss me.
Fucking great. But yeah, he's the devil.
Yeah, because that's absolutely at the front of your mind when you're in front of that pulpit.
Right?
like, am I gonna die this time?
Yeah.
Especially if you've already been shot.
Yeah.
Why would anyone ever want to be the fucking president? You have to be insane.
Yeah. Which is fine. People are allowed to be insane.
Yeah, this elderly couple was talking politics, and they were fascinated and kind of excited that like I knew politics and knew what I was talking about, because they were watching the news and Fox and like all these different things. And
what does the fox say? His face every time I lean away from the mic to say something loud
is concerned. Yeah, they were talking about like, oh, these politicians just, they're just getting rich while they're in office, and I'm like, and then they just started like rattling off different politicians and like how much money they make and where they get it from. Yeah, and
they blame communism.
yeah, and they're like, and they were saying like, well, Democrats do it too, and I'm like, the last 4 politicians that I just named were all Democrats.
Yeah,
and I'm like, you want to hear a Republican? I'm like, Greg Abbott, right? Governor Greg Abbott of Texas. And I'm like, he was worth... They're like, yeah. And I'm like, he was worth $350,000 when he was elected. 12 months later, he's worth $59 million. And they're
Well-
like, 59 million? Like, they couldn't fucking believe it. Like, it was 5 minutes. They couldn't get over it.
Well, do you see the thing where they put it up, senators versus the S&P 500 in 12 months? I think it was Unusual Whales. Just follow them on Twitter. Shout out Unusual Whales. This is not sponsored, but they're fucking dope. They have really good... Someone who buys a lot of shares, usually called a whale.
Yeah.
So Unusual Whales was started by just tracking weird purchases and like weird stock market moves.
And big ones, yeah.
And big ones. But they do a lot of things, and they made a chart of every senator that beat the S&P 500 in the last 12 months, and like it's like 70 of them, and most of them, and it's like a good mix of Republican, Democrat. Number one is Nancy Pelosi, who's like chief Democrat, right?
And the fucking report that came out was that they're actually not doing really any better than the S&P on average. That's probably because they averaged in those other 30% that did really poorly.
Yeah, on
or
average,
something. I don't know.
yeah.
It's fucking stats. You can do it. You can make
You
it say
can
whatever you want.
manipulate them however you want.
But yeah, it was really funny how I was talking about. I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, if you go on like Reddit, I'm like, even like me and my friends do this. You'll see a senator make a trade, and it'll be reported, and then you'll see the statement that they make, and the news that comes out that's associated to it. You follow the money. You see what they're buying. You look at the statement, you can see what's going to happen, you place your money accordingly, in or out, and you ride the wave. And this guy, like, just fucking burst out laughing. He's like, that's incredible. He's like, that is so crazy. He's like, you guys really do that? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, you just pick certain politicians. And then the wife's like, yeah, like Nancy Pelosi. And I'm like, literally, Pelosi trades. And I'm like,
Pelosi
follow her on
tracker.
Twitter.
Yeah, Pelosi.
And I'm like,
tracker.
Pelosi's like the big one. And it's like, it's funny because they're expecting this to be like, me to have like certain partisan opinions.
Yeah, you to be left leaning.
Or either way.
Well, you are left leaning.
And I'm shitting on everybody.
See, the thing is, though, you are left leaning, and they don't understand that Democrats are fascists.
Yeah, the Democrats are just fascist with
that want dental care, but they don't even.
No.
At least like the
they're
left.
fascists that flirt with the rainbow flag and dental care.
The left, in quotations, in Canada, wants like dental care and like maybe homes for homeless people, but not even. They want like childcare for rich white people and then like dental care for everyone.
And like carbon taxes.
And carbon taxes. But like the left, in quotations, in America don't even want any of that.
No, they're still right of center.
They're still extremely right of center.
They're
still
right
like,
they're right of right center.
Dude, fucking like Bernie Sanders is right of center.
Yeah.
Like, and they called him a fucking socialist. Like,
which is incredible.
but he's yeah.
Only in the sense that Hitler also was a part of the National Socialist Party. Yes, Bernie is a socialist in that.
Yeah,
in that respect.
they're literally all authoritarian right. None of them are like we should abolish capitalism. Like,
yeah, I just think it's fucking incredible that most people are ignorant of this, and I'm sitting and I'm talking to these people that are multi-millionaires. Like, they are fucking well-to-do. It's the second largest development company in the province. That's not like a massive publicly traded company. And they're green to this stuff. They're ignorant of it because what they know is they build houses, they make a fuckload of money, and they live their lives.
I build house. I make money.
And they watch the 5 o'clock news, and that's their
it,
perception of the world, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it sounds mean, but I pity my parents. Love them. We're on better terms now than we used to be, but
I envy
love
them because they're gonna
No.
they're gonna die fucking
No,
happy and
no. Well,
blissfully
okay,
ignorant.
so here's what I'll say is that I was gonna say I pity them because like they just like they're so in their own bubble, but I don't even envy them because you're saying like they don't understand how the world works, so they're happier.
Yeah.
But like my mom's stressing about this Ukraine thing,
Right.
and I'm like, Mom, like
Well,
you know,
I shouldn't say
and
that.
I'm talking about how like Zelensky's enabling Nazism, you know, basically as a puppet for the West. And she's like, well, no, he's a Jew, so he couldn't be doing that, actually.
Well,
You know, well, but like, like my mother was like considering taking refugees into her home.
yeah.
And you know my parents, they don't like anyone in their home.
Yeah.
They don't like me in their fucking home.
Yeah,
But
I shouldn't
and
say.
I'm like, why are you, Mom, stop. Like, why are you even considering this? My dad's rolling his eyes, but she's like, we need to help them. And I'm like, no, you don't. Like, it's like, I don't know, man. Like, she doesn't give it, but fucking, how long has she been alive? 60 years. She doesn't give a fuck about any conflict that's happened until it's white people, right? Like, because, and it's not her being racist, it's just the news is telling her to care about this.
Yeah.
CBC
News is telling her to freak out.
Yeah, CBC is saying, hey, look at these people being murdered. But then, like, what happens in Myanmar or Syria or wherever, and it's like, oh,
Terrorists.
whatever.
Oh, we missed a drone bomb. It's not like
Look
civilians
at this we're talking
civilians got
about this
massacred today,
in
right?
Haiti right now. They're storming the fucking barricades, trying to dispose their, American appointed president, basically. Cuba, we were talking about this yesterday, like is passing some really, really progressive, where they're like codifying gay, homosexual marriage and raising children and stuff and putting it in the law.
Basically, they're removing the financial restrictions to a family unit that's non-nuclear family.
Yeah, and
and
that's
Dominic Toretto and his homies could be a family.
Yeah, and I'm always like, because like Castro was homophobic.
Yeah.
Castro and Che Guevara both were like, well, you can't be gay and communist. Like, they were,
Right.
Then the well documented that they were homophobic, but and then somebody here, when they're arguing communist ideals, they're like, wow, he had to be. It was the product of whatever. It's like, so I'm always a big criticizer of Fidel Castro, but look, I don't know. I've come completely around. I'm like, communism's good now. Let's be communists. So here's my question, because this is a business podcast, right? Why would anyone care about running a business when the world is literally falling apart and there's so much more important things to worry about?
You gotta do something.
Yeah, so I guess my response was going to be like, why would you care about a job? Like,
why would you care about living? Like,
sure, but okay, so bear with me. I'm creating a business to make money, obviously.
mm-hmm.
And I think that in the long run, in 30 years, I'm still 56, right? Like, I'm still relatively young. Like, it's like I'm going to, like, in 30 years, I'm almost certainly going to be making millions of dollars in a year.
Yeah.
Like, almost certainly, if I just stick this course, right? It's been 5.5 years in this business, 3 of which have been a pandemic. Right. Almost certainly, if I just stick the course, I'll make a lot of money.
Yeah. This millionaire today is like, yeah, I started my business when I was 32.
Yeah. So,
which is far in the future for us.
Yeah, exactly. So my point being, like, almost certainly I'll make money, but right now I'm not making any money. Why do I keep doing this when I could just be like, okay, well, let's do some math here. I could go I'll get you to say it so it doesn't look like I'm just jerking myself off. I'm probably qualified to go get a sales position or a sales management position even that pays probably $100,000 a year.
Oh, you wouldn't get $100,000 a year, but you could probably get 60, 70.
I could probably get 200. Well, I was being modest.
It would take you 3 to 5 years, but yeah.
Okay, but I'm not going to be making $200,000 net, or I guess that's it before taxes. But like, what's 200? Probably 100 after taxes, 120 after taxes. I'm not going to be making 120 after taxes in 3 to 5 years from my business. I'm probably not.
Probably not.
So, wouldn't it make more fiscal sense for me to just go get a sales management position and work up from there? Fiscally.
Yeah, if you're just trying to make money and buy a house and do all that shit, yeah, absolutely.
But if the world's ending, why would I care about saving money and buying a house?
I mean, if it's the revolution, wherever you're living, I guess, is your house.
But then they're going to take it.
Who?
Because I'm a capitalist. I don't know.
Who's going to take it?
The frickin' bourgeoisie. No, I'm the bourgeoisie. The frickin' proletariat.
See, this is the fucked
They're
up.
gonna seize it.
This is the thing that people don't fucking think about. Because Fox News tells you to be scared of the communists because they're coming for your money, they're coming for your jobs, they're coming for your whatever. Trust me, if the communists take power, if there's a redistribution of wealth, if there's a radical
You're not rich
upheaval
enough.
of the system, you're not in the fucking club that's
Yeah.
going to get skimmed.
Yeah.
You're going to be in the club that gets benefited
Yeah.
from the skimming. Like you are the 1% of, or you are the 99% that holds the 1%. Like
Yeah.
you're not going to fucking lose anything. Like
Yeah.
there's no way
That's a
that
good
you
point.
lose in this
That's
equation.
a really good argument.
Like you're not even are you below like the global average of wealth. You're probably below the average of like your national income
Okay,
for
no,
households.
you
Like our national household income average is like it's pretty high.
worldwide national
Or, sorry,
worldwide
national.
average income is like 18 G's a year.
yeah, what's our national? Like it's
Ours
probably
38.
not national household income.
No, individual income. I think like 60, 70.
Yeah.
I think it's 38 individual income is I think like what it's like 36 mean, 45 median.
And that's not counting for ultra rich and rich people because
Well,
those people
mean-
don't have income on paper.
Mean is accounts for them. Median does not.
Yeah.
Median is the middle of the line. Mean is the average.
Yeah.
So that's why you always have to do median household income when you're trying to calculate because the average income, mean is the same word for average if you're not in the know.
Mm-hmm.
The average household income in the United States is skewed so much by the amount of billionaires
Yeah.
that it's like 30 grand higher than it actually is.
Yeah.
So that's where like Republican talking points is like, well, look at our average income
Right.
is so much higher than every other country. But if you take median, it's like, or you just cut out like Calabasas,
You cut out the outliers.
cut out 3 neighborhoods in California and 5 neighborhoods in New York.
Yeah.
And then now it's like 30 grand, like when it used to be 50. Like,
Yeah.
what is it? There was some interview. Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos live down the street from each other.
Okay.
And the interviewer's, I think, talking to Bezos, and he's like, "You and Mark Zuckerberg live on the same street," and he starts laughing. He's like, "So not even the same state or the same neighborhood or the same whatever." It's like, is there something in the water there? Like, and he's like, should I move it? I forget what the joke was, but he's like, should I move there or whatever? He's like, oh, you bring the property value down or something. Like, it's something funny. But Bezos has some good lines. More than Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg, I think, is an alien.
He was pretty good on Rogan.
I would love,
Like long form, he's pretty good.
because he's smart,
Yeah.
right? His IQ has got to be fucking 200. Like, you see that interview with Bezos where he has, where he's like balding? It's like back in the day. He's in the car with the interviewer, and he's like, "You're worth something like $8 billion." But this is like way back in the day, right? And he's like, just kind of like trying to be humble, and he's like, "I only asked that because I have a follow up question." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Why the Honda?" Starts laughing. He's like, "It's a perfectly good car." I don't know. He has some.
true.
He's some good lines. They're all kind of robots though. All these fucking guys. I like Elon because he's expressive to the point where it's detrimental. You know what I mean? Like he's had fucking FTC lawsuits and shit because of his tweets.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Like
He
you don't
doesn't-
see Zuckerberg saying controversial shit.
Yeah, he's
Right.
not. He doesn't have a highly manicured PR presence.
Yeah, but certainly anything that Bezos and Zuckerberg post are read by 500 people before it gets posted.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, that's
But not for Bezos or not for Musk. Like,
yeah, and
Elon just
and
fucking tweets
it's
whatever the fuck
cost
he
him
wants.
dearly.
Well, that's what I mean. But like, I respect sacrificing for just doing whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, he's like, that's the cost of business.
And then it's like, oh yeah, I'm banging Grimes, by the way. And it's like, what? How do you even know each other? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. I'm becoming more and more like I have no opinion on people. I'm just like happy they exist in this like this chicanery that we call life. Like, it's like I'm watching a movie, right? And you're like, you ever like watch a movie or a TV show and you fucking hate a character? Peaky Blinders, I fucking hate Gina Gray. Fuck that bitch. But it's like the fact that I'm
Love the actress though.
well, that's what I'm saying is that it's eliciting such powerful emotion from me because Anna Taylor-Joy is making a character that I fucking hate.
Yeah.
So like Willow, like me, I'm like, that's a great actress creating a character that I feel genuine emotion about that I fucking despise. And that's kind of like me in life now, where I'm like, I'm glad Trump and Elon and Andrew Tate exist because it makes the movie better that they exist.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, I think one of the best pieces of advice I've heard is if you are able to dissociate like your public persona, your personality, and like what people perceive you to be, like the person that you are, and you can perceive that as like a character that you play in life, your mental health is substantially benefited. It's like Jim Carrey being like, yeah, that's who I play. Like I play the best part. I think someone asked him like, what's the best part you've ever played? He's like, Jim Carrey.
Here's a story I think I've never told anyone out loud.
Wow.
Well, there's a couple people that, okay, so when I was in high school, no, when I was in junior high, grade 8. Grade 8 was when my life started to go downhill. That was the first time where it was like, oh, I can be sad in life. And then it just started to go down from there. And I remember in grade 10, 9 or 10, something like that, I started seeing a girl for the first time, like my first girlfriend. And I started like getting a little bit more confidence. And then I was like, that's when I started like hanging out with people that were doing like MLM and stuff, which was like in retrospect, like they were all grifters, but it started getting me to thinking about business. And I was started reading books and stuff and articles. It's like, oh, like how to be like, you got to be confident to run a business and stuff like, you know, stuff like that. But I was like depressed.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, whatever. And I don't know where I read it or consumed the information, but one of the things that I consumed was like, just fucking walk with your shoulders back with your back straight. And
especially if you're wearing a suit.
Yeah, well, yeah.
If you slouch in a suit, you look like
you look trouble
you
bubble.
look twice as bad.
And but so I started walking and I like there's pictures of me with different headphones all the time. I used to wear like old computer headphones, but they'd break, so I'd find new ones. And it's like, there's fucking all the pictures from me from school. I'm wearing weird, like, not just iPhone earbuds. I'm wearing like a Walkman, big fucking headphones, like, whatever. But I would walk down the halls of school. I was like 14, 15, and like just playing music and being like, I am the main character of this fucking movie. And just walking around with my back straight, fucking like not moving out of the way when people get in my way.
Yeah.
And that like significantly, not that it, like I was doing that intentionally, but then I don't think I realized how it was helping my confidence.
Yeah.
Until when I got cheated on by that same girlfriend, I lost a bunch of confidence. And then I guess it was going on for weeks. And then one day I I remember this very vividly. I was going past a bus stop on my way to school or on my way home from school on Henderson, right by my parents' house. And somebody walked like into me basically. And I fucking just like zerped around them. Right. And then right there, and this was like 3 weeks after I had, got dumped or whatever. And I thought to myself, I'm like, like before I would have just walked through that guy and be like, get the fuck out of my way. Like I'm walking here.
Yeah.
But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, am I walking with my fucking shoulders tucked? Like, am I walking with my spine curled? Am I walking like unconfident? And I was.
Yeah.
And it was just like a lack of confidence physically showed itself.
Yeah.
Which I thought and that was like, I was probably 15. And that was like that was a epiphany for me. Where I'm like, that's so weird that my like mental state subconsciously, because I didn't realize I was no longer doing that. I didn't realize I was walking with my head down anymore.
Yeah, you're just trying to disappear.
But I didn't even think about it. I'm not like, oh, I'm putting my head down because I'm sad. I was just walking home. And I remember that being like a breakthrough point for me where I'm like, wow, that was weird. Why did my mind subconsciously put me in a position like that? So now where it's like, if I ever need to feel more secure, it's like, just fucking tighten your back up and walk around and fuck them.
Yeah, I think it's subconscious. Well, it's not subconscious. It's natural, but people perceiving that as weak is them realizing that your state of mind is weak.
Yeah, because it wasn't even like weakness. I'm just like, why did I change physically?
Right.
I
had a similar experience actually, but mine happened through martial arts.
Yeah, okay.
And what I learned was the term senshin, which is like your intensity, right? It's like when you're getting into a fight or an altercation, your like confidence and intensity alone can win a fight. Like if someone comes at you like maximum energy, screaming, has a high level of intensity, is like, looks like they're ready to kick your fucking head off your shoulders, and you're just like kind of upset, you're probably going to cede the fight to that guy, or you're going to be on your back foot, and now you're reactive, right? The person with the highest level of energy and intensity is going to win that altercation.
What do they call it?
Senshin.
And that's Japanese?
Yeah. And it's something that like the samurais practice when you see them fight. They always have like, they get super amped up and they scream, and what they usually do is they kind of run with their like sword kind of held back at their hip, tailing behind them, and you just sprint at your target and you just scream and you stare them in the eyes, and the person will step back, and the second they start stepping back or moving defensively, you have them, because the second you're reacting instead of acting, you lose. And it's like, and I took that lesson to heart in the way that I would just like walk around and kind of just, I would realize certain situations, and especially when I got into like sales and business, whatever, I would realize that kind of energy intensity that would happen in meetings.
Yeah.
And I would recognize the opportunity where I could like increase it. And it was like putting your hands on the table, leaning across the table, staring someone in the eyes, and getting intense over a certain situation. People crumble.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm fucking nobody. And I just like, I'm acting.
Yeah.
And it works. And it was really fucking weird to experience in the real adult world, because I thought this was like, oh, this is like a fantasy thing. This is like a make-believe thing. Yeah. And then you do it and you're like, oh, this is real. Which was the weird thing about doing martial arts, is like a young person getting initiated into the world, you don't really take it that seriously, because it doesn't seem real.
Going to karate club is like going to fucking swimming lessons, right? Like,
yeah, but you don't. Yeah, you don't really take it that seriously.
Yeah, it's weird that like I stopped doing swimming lessons because I thought it wasn't cool anymore. And it's like, swimming? I know how to swim pretty well. That was growing up with a cabin. You just learn how to, you get thrown in the water, you learn how to fucking swim. Like, I can swim. You watch me fall out of a kayak. You know I can swim pretty well. But I stopped doing swimming lessons in like grade 7 because I'm like, my friends are going to think I'm dumb. And it's like, that's weird. That's dumb. Like, what the fuck am I? I've been thinking about doing martial arts.
It's really good for your mental health.
Or boxing.
Yeah, boxing,
something
or
like that.
Boxing or jiu-jitsu.
Something where I know
Those
I'm going to get my
options.
ass kicked.
Yeah.
But I'm submitting to it. Like, I know I am.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. I feel like I want to learn how to fight because I'm really fucking useless.
I think you should. You'd probably be better off with jiu-jitsu instead of boxing.
Yeah,
It's just better.
yeah. I still want to do a charity boxing match with other winemakers.
But you just wrestle the guy, choke him out.
Wrestle.
Wrestle.
I fucking beat the
Mud
shit out of the
wrestling.
ref, and then and then I can do whatever I want.
True.
Yeah. There's a lot of things I want to do where it's like, but my whole thing with like health and fitness has been like, I'll get rich and then I'll figure it out later.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
Anything, right?
Doing one of those clubs, you're looking at least $100 a month.
Yeah, name a thing. Even like gym membership. I'm talking about like not buying food for a month. Never mind. Like, you know what I mean?
You
Well,
get
and
a
it's like,
gym membership for like $15 a month.
so here's the thing. It's something I don't give a shit about. If I cared about not being fat, I wouldn't be fat.
Right.
I really don't care because I'm able, like, I'll just say it and then I'll backtrack if I'm, I can get laid looking like how I get laid or looking like how I am with a beer belly. And that is I don't give a shit what people say. Oh no, I'm working out for myself. No, you're not. You're working out so girls will want to have sex with you. Fuck off, right? There's not a single man that is trying to get ripped for himself. I don't give a fuck. Sometimes they come up on my because I guess entrepreneur TikTok and fitness guru TikTok is like the algorithms overlap. So occasionally I'll get fucking fitness guru TikTok on my algorithm, and it's like, it's like some girl. It's like, I don't like a guy with a lot of muscles, and then it cuts. It's like, well, I'm not doing it for you. It's like, no, you are. Fuck off. Like, no,
I'm not doing it for you.
Yeah.
It's like the guy that says that
There's not a single man in the
is
world.
not doing it for you because you already rejected him based on
that's
that
incel behavior, right?
based on your shitty personality.
Yeah, no, I will make the statement. I don't think there's a single man in the world that isn't thinking about. Maybe it's not the main, because like, for instance, I went to school with somebody who it wasn't. They don't call it a heart attack, but it was like at like 25, had like a cardiac episode. It's like not bad enough. It didn't stop blood flow or something. I remember reading about it where it's like they can't call it a heart attack because it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, you're gonna die at 50.
Yeah.
Because you're fat. And then they lost like 115 pounds because they're like, I'm gonna fucking die, right? Fair, getting laid is not your main motivation there, but I promise you, when this guy was like, you know, doing one more rep and the spotter's like, no, you gotta do one more. He's like, no, I can't. He's like, no, you gotta do one more. He's like, if I look good, girls gonna have sex. And that was like the last thing that made him get that bar over that fucking thing. I promise you.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, though, it's also just about you feel good.
Dude, sex is just like the main driver of human behavior, right?
But fitness releases similar endorphins as to having sex.
So I do a lot of drugs, right?
Yeah.
Those give me my endorphins just fine. I don't need to work out.
On that note, let's take another drug.
I'm going to take another drug here. This is the drug shot that we call shrug
Caller.
Shrug drug. So my business name is Shrugging Doctor, right? Shrug, and a lot of people abbreviate it to Shrug Doc.
Shrug drug?
Shrug Drug. We're a dispensary.
Of what?
I don't know. Drugs. I'm putting that in my business idea.
Go become a pharmacist.
I have two
and then
lists
get
in
rich.
my phone. One called business ideas. One called non-stupid business ideas.
Yeah, becoming a pharmacist is a non-stupid idea.
You ever go to school for a while for that?
Oh, a long time.
Did you ever go to med school?
Mm-hmm. Long time. You're basically a doctor.
We don't usually take 2 shots on the show if they're 40%.
I was gonna say lately we have been.
So you know what I was about to say. Now that I'm this drunk, no, I'll probably need 1 more, maybe 2 more. I don't have to eat tonight. So there's 2 hot dogs I have left over. I can save till tomorrow. No eat November, baby.
Just thinking.
We're gonna transfer here into the last part of the show that we call tip of the morning, where Tyler gives you a business or life tip that we are currently going through in the life
of the week.
That was the weirdest fucking cadence I've ever had.
You were trying.
I'm the sad thing is I'm not. No, the sad thing is I
I am.
I don't know, man. I'm so I really don't like myself. I feel like all my friends, you included, talk shit about me when I can't hear it. And like nobody has a good opinion of me. Like anytime my name comes up in conversation, everyone has only negative things to say about me.
Yep.
And I need to make a change, right? But then I keep saying like I need to make a change, and I actively try to change, and I keep fucking up. And like it's just like I don't know how, like when I try my best and it still works out badly, I don't know, like I should just kill myself, right? Like I can't. I am just a bad human being. I'm a fucking defect.
Yeah, everyone's got that thing.
And I'm just bad.
Everyone's got a thing that makes them feel like a failure. Everyone's got a thing. And like I think our friend group is really good because all of us have very different things that we're really bad at, and we're pretty good at accepting that in one another. And it's like, no, we know you suck at that. Like everyone knows, dude.
I just need better friends.
No, I don't think that's possible. You get some yes men, like Joe Rogan.
Now we're talking.
He's doing great.
Sure, yeah, I mean, yeah, objectively, right?
I mean, if your friends become yes men, I think at that point I would start resenting my success.
Yeah, but my friends talk shit about me when I'm not there. It's not like it's constructive. They're like actively trying to hurt my life.
I think your friends talk shit about you only to your other good friends because they want to help you.
No.
Or
I've heard
either
some
that or to your face.
I don't know.
I think to your face is the best kind of shit to talk.
I agree. So my tip of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something in your life that you think you can't live without? Maybe try to give it up for a bit. I'm going to give up food for a month.
Buying food, not eating food.
Yeah, but the marketing, right, is very important. No Food November, that's going to get in the news. And people are going to be like, oh, he's not eating food for a month?
Dude, you should write a press release. Be like, local business owner does
I don't want to spam like my contacts with like my personal shit that I could probably do. Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I'll make this a whole press thing.
It's a human interest thing, man.
Oh, maybe maybe I'll make a fucking donation thing and we'll donate to a food bank.
Yeah, you can do that.
Fuck. Now this has to become a thing.
Now you're making a commitment over something that was supposed to be nothing.
Now I have to go.
So you do one
people.
for yourself and the second one for the public.
Yeah, now I have to go help people.
No, you just gotta do a GoFundMe and write a check. That's like two things.
My tip, I'll round it out. My therapist said, I haven't been drinking as much. This is real. But when I was like more addicted, I couldn't go a day without drinking alcohol for a while there, a few years. And my therapist said, just pick one day and don't do it. So that's kind of my tip, is like one thing that you're addicted to: caffeine, alcohol, vaccinations under the bridge. Just one day, just a Sunday, God's day, or just a Tuesday, whatever, right? Tortoise day, right? Just go a little bit without it, and then maybe you can do a week without it. Maybe you can do a month without it. Who knows? I don't know. But just try. Make a little bit of step, a whittle step in the right direction. Maybe you'll thank yourself.
Probably will.
Give me a tip, Tyler.
I think my tip, and this is some advice that I really need to take, is go and try and talk to somebody new. Like, actually have a genuine conversation.
Have you had a conversation with anyone that isn't me in 3 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, try to have some conversations with some new people. And when I say conversations, I mean like actually talk to someone, learn about them, say something personal to them, have a reciprocal conversation where you're being human beings in a space, like wherever it may be. Networking events can be good for this if you can get into the right space.
If the people aren't grifters.
Even if they are.
Some people...
Grifters can be entertaining.
But some people just listen to you and it feels like a genuine connection, but they're just trying to sell you something.
Yeah, but I mean, it makes you feel better.
I barely even fucking try to sell people wine anymore. Like, it usually takes you being like, by the way, this guy owns a winery. You're like, I don't... Yeah.
But yeah, try to talk to somebody new. I mean, it's really helpful and useful to learn or to gain perspective on, because everyone's is inundated with information. They're in their head about shit all week, and every day you're in your head about something, and it's sometimes very, very useful just to bounce that off of people that have an entirely different life experience, and just to kind of realize it's like, oh, okay, there's other people are experiencing other shit. Like, life gets hard and people get depressed when they think that they're alone in their struggles, and they think that they're the only ones that are having troubles, or that are the only ones that are freaking out or stressed or whatever, scared of the world or scared of the future. It's very, very calming to learn that it's kind of a generally accepted idea that the world is fucked right now, and god damn it, and things aren't fair. Like, yeah, I don't know, just talk to some new people and you might be surprised, because and try not to be like, don't be confrontational, don't be political, don't be whatever. Try to be agreeable, don't offend people, and just see where conversations can go, because you don't need to force your opinions on everybody, but yeah, do some listening, do some talking. It might do you some fucking good. And they might have free sandwiches at the end.
This has been the Sandwich Podcast. Thank you for listening. Alcohol beyond this point, just Google it. You'll probably find it. I don't actually know. Our SEO can't be great. So
I was going to say, if you don't really need to say that, because if they're listening, they've already found it. Just saying.
Yeah, but if you're listening and if you don't follow us, please, because we have like 16 Instagram followers.
Yeah, we're both fathers of 4 children, and we need to feed them. So,
and I would love for you. I don't know. I just want to end this podcast by saying rest in peace, Coolio. Just found out he passed away just before we started recording. The famous rapper of Gangster's Paradise.
That's why you're so depressed.
I've been spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. No, I'm not tone deaf. Fuck off. I just can't sing. He just passed away at the age of 59 today, like an hour ago. I'm not sure of the details yet, but I just want to dedicate this episode to Coolio. Do you know, fun fact, the sample that he's using on Gangster's Paradise, I think is I want to say Stevie Wonder song. And the only reason he was able to get approval from his estate is because he doesn't curse in the song. Listen to Gangster's Paradise on Spotify right now, and be listening for it. He doesn't curse a single time.
Wow.
That's why he's like, fool. It's like Coolio usually says the N-word all the time.
Yeah.
He doesn't the entire time, because that was the agreement from the estate of Stevie Wonder was to you can't curse in the song.
Cool.
And so he doesn't, and then that also helped it get to radio plays.
Yeah.
Was because it was already clean.
Yeah.
They didn't have to
compromise.
They didn't have to bleep anything, edit anything. So that actually was like one of the biggest reasons why Coolio became popular, because I can name fucking 2 Coolio songs. He was one of the first guests on Hot Ones, fun fact.
Cool.
Before Hot Ones was like big.
Yeah.
Because Hot Ones is owned by Complex, which is like a hip hop magazine. So they were able to get like the agents of like weird hip hop rap, like like more or less underground rappers on the show. Before now, it's like good fucking luck getting on Hot Ones.
Yeah.
Like you got to be
big.
Fucking, because like, you know what's funny? I actually started watching Hot Ones like the 2nd season, like back when it was like shitty production and everything, because I watched I was a fan of Complex, like for their hip hop content, and then they posted to this one time, this First We Feast, whatever, and I've been a fan ever since. But I was like, actually, I'm like, you know what? A genuine goal of mine is to be famous enough that I can get a Hot Ones in like season 2.
Yeah.
And now on like season 18, I'm like, there's no fucking
There's
way.
no fucking way, yeah.
Where it's like, you know, name a Kourtney Kardashian, like, you know, name a person.
Posey.
Post Malone. Actually, Post Malone was on really early as well.
Yeah.
And he was like not famous. DJ Khaled was on. He only got through like 4 wings out of 10 and just dipped.
Who's that chick that was just stone cold through the whole thing?
There's a few of them.
An actress.
Yeah,
she's just like...
I think Elizabeth Olsen was like...
Maybe.
Pretty good. Yeah, one of them like mainlined the fucking hottest sauce like on a spoon. They're like, oh, I want to taste more of it. Yeah. There's been some good ones. But anyway, Coolio.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, Coolio was one of the first people on the show.
Yeah.
And apparently he like... was like, where's a washroom? And they showed, like, they told him where it was, and then they like went to go check on him, and there's like a couches in the green room, like before you go to record, and he was fucking passed out like in sweat, like on the couch for like an hour and a half. Like,
wow.
Just fucking, it literally killed him.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So
Just fainted.
Rest in peace, Coolio. That sucks. 59, man, not old.
But also, pretty cool life.
Maybe. I really don't know much about him.
That's fair.
I just thought I'd mention it.
Yeah.
So, rest in peace at 59 Coolio. Rest in peace at 27 Willows. We will, and Tyler will probably die around 70 between the barn and the house.
Because of inflation, it'll be more like 90. But
or 30.
No. No.
Bye.
Alcohol Beyond This Point podcast.
This isn't two podcasters talking business. This is two business guys trying to podcast.